I love cheese. I'm from Brooklyn, so I know my pizza.
What's your favorite pizza place around here?
I usually go to NYPD. It's one of the popular ones.
Is that a pizza place?
It is.
Okay.
Around me.
You want to go grab a slice?
We could go grab a slice.
See? Done.
Done.
Now, so if it went the other way and he wasn't Brian Christopher Howie and didn't have this skill set, and you talked about the pizza, after the third back and forth, so it's ping pong,
Right.
3 times back and forth. After the third one, whatever he's saying that's going to keep the conversation going, you'll just say, I'll tell you when I see you. Or let's have a meet for a slice and find out. What you're doing by that is you're saying, I'm not interested in this pen pal shit anymore. It also says to him, you can meet me. I am ready to go out. So at some point early on, before it goes back too many times, when you're like, I would like him to ask me out, you've got to sort of draw a line in the sand and say, let's continue this when I see you. And then if he doesn't step up, he's like, I want to see you. If he doesn't step up, then you only wasted
a few minutes of my time.
Back and forth 3 times. And I think that's the mistake people make, especially the women, is they're willing to give him too much line to run with as the fish. And he might go days without pulling the trigger on this. Part of that is because maybe he's doing this with 5 other people and he's trying to just drag it out. And part of this might be that he's still not sure that you're doing this. And then before you know it, you've gone to 20 minutes of this or 20 days of this.
It's also the mileage. I hear a lot of guys, oh, you're in Lake Worth? You're like, let's say 30 miles away. You knew from the location where I am.
I know. I've made the joke many, many times. We'll go 20 miles for a deal on a desk at IKEA, and we won't do that possibly for the love of our life. We're crazy. I get that. How far are your settings?
I do 25 to 30 miles.
That's reasonable.
Right.
How wide is your age?
I do 38 to 55. I'm 46. But I'm still getting the young ones.
8 up, 8 down?
Yeah. I mean, I could go further. I just had an 82-year-old hit me up.
Because that's the thing, Brian. You set those parameters, but these apps don't care.
They don't care.
Don't they have is this a deal?
Do you have guys that fake their age?
One of them I know has the
deal breaker.
They have is this an absolute?
Doesn't matter. It still sends you.
It still sends you.
It's crazy.
On the geography thing, it could be like, well, they just drove through your neighborhood to get a deal on a desk at IKEA. And they go, so it's not absolute. Let me ask you something else. So you're 46.
I'm 46.
Let's go back to the role play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's go back to the slice of pizza. What's your favorite pizza place?
NYPD.
You want me to, would you like to go out for a slice?
We could go out for a slice.
Would you like me to pick you up?
No, I could meet you there.
Yes. See? You didn't used to date that way.
I didn't.
What changed? Because it used to be...
Unless I do a background check.
You didn't used to do a background check.
No.
You used to say, you wouldn't even consider meeting me there. You're like, what an asshole. He didn't pick me up. We used to have to fucking pick you up. What changed? You're of that age that you all changed because you watch too much fucking Lifetime and you watch too much Dateline movies. And it changed everything because when we picked you up before, we would walk to the door, we would open it, we would be chivalrous, you would trust, and it put a whole different thing.
I have 3 kids.
You there. What does that mean?
I have to protect my kids myself.
I get it. I get you don't want necessarily
safety
to know where you live. Right. If you had 3 kids 15 years ago, I don't know how old your kids were, but you didn't. Hey, you guys, I'll be home in a couple hours. We'll have this babysitter. Mom's got a date. And you would just go out to the car. You didn't have to invite the guy, and you would still do it. And the women still did it. And it changed everything. The I will meet you out makes it seem like this isn't really a date. We're going to hang out. It has changed everything.
I mean, I recently went out on a date, and he did pick me up. But I did we were talking and communicating. I knew where he worked. I saw the car that he drove.
You didn't used to.
Right.
You knew that guy had a pen and a napkin at 2:00 in the morning, and that guy had to fucking pick you up.
Yeah.
Correct.
You're going to take me on a proper date. You're going to call Saturday night. You're going to call me on Tuesday. We're going to go out on Friday, and here's where I live. And that changed everything. And if you think we weren't psychos in the 90s, I don't know what to tell you. We were just as bad.
They don't even want me to have their phone number.
That's what they use WhatsApp.
They're like, no, exactly.
I know, but as soon as, if you're giving me your real name and I have any sort of sleuthiness, not only can I get your phone number, I can get your address, I can get everything you want.
Yeah.
You know more if you're able to do it now than you ever did 15 years ago about the guys that you date, yet your standard of I need to get out of here. I need to have my friend on speed dial.
I do. I have my locations. My friends know.
I know. We didn't used to date that way.
We didn't.
It's tough. And look, there's a lot of creeps out there, and
there were a lot of creeps there in 1995.
Correct. They're just more. They have more tools now. They have more.
Creeps have more.
They
tools.
do.
We used to have literal tools in the back.
Like a lot of my women friends will
a
compare, horror stories, but they're like, I just can't give out my phone number because I'm just going to get 13 dick pics and
dick pics
20 and one guy got obsessed with me. So I get it, but I made the mistake. I'm new kind of back to these dating apps because I moved to a new city and I'm like, I need to get out there and I've got my friends here, but it's enough already. So I haven't been on the apps for probably 5 years, but here, so I made the mistake. I grate messaging on the app and I'll say, hey, here's my number. Like, they're like, I'm not ready for that. And I'm like,
it's too soon for the number.
After 3 days of like 9 hours, so I'm like, it's okay. So I've also run into this where really pen pal and it's like, hey, I do better in person, and they can't commit to meeting but then
all the excuses.
Correct. See, for every girl who says this about the guys, there's a guy who says this about the girl.
So then the greatest thing is after a week of nightly and or daily messages, then I'll wake up in the morning and she's like unmatched, and it's gone. It's like, oh, that was fun, I guess. What was that?
We're going to get into the bars in a second. We got to take a quick break, but we will be back right after this. And we are back, and we are diving into the deep end of the current dating pool here. You've been out.
I've been out.
To me, it seems there are not as many people out, but the people that are out seem to be smiling, laughing. Yes. And I've noticed that the shows that we have done, people are coming with a better attitude. They're like, I just miss the feel of this. I miss the sound of this. I miss the hug. I miss the high five, the handshake, the fist bump, whatever you want.
I miss
the physical contact, the being around people. I was at Vegas recently. It felt normal again. Yeah. The feeling, I think, has to trickle down onto the date.
So true.
Yes?
I was out Saturday night, and I went out by myself. Nobody else could meet me out. I'm like, I'm not sitting home tonight. I went out. And I was wearing my Britney Spears T-shirt because, free Britney. I'm really into it. So everyone in the bar is my best friend. They're like, I love that shirt. Well, this one girl, she wasn't a woman. Brian, I think she was maybe like 30. But she's like, please sit with us. I said, I would love to. She's like, you here by yourself? I said, yes. And then we talked for hours. And then, of course, she's got a boyfriend of 10 years. And he wasn't there because he was adding to his tattoo. I don't know. So... but I had a great time and but going back to what you said, they were all so happy to be there and the shots were flying and people were having a good time and the NBA basketball was on. So it was great, and that I do better in those situations. That's just my personality. I'm, I guess, an extrovert. So I'm comfortable in a bar. I'm a bar person. I come from that background. So that's my jam, and these dating apps are fun on a Tuesday night.
If you put Free Britney on your profile, you're going to get some action.
Absolutely.
I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, I wonder what I should put on mine.
See, my problem with, just to get off on a tangent, my problem with Britney is not so much with the dad, it's with the boyfriend. The fuck is he doing? If that was my girlfriend, I would absolutely have freed Britney by now. I could handle it. I would get her the doctor. I would get her all of it. Unless he's on the payroll somehow, I think the problem is with the boyfriend. But that's a tangent. Anyway, same thing. You've been out.
I've been out. I was done couch surfing. I was done having my rear end like a perfect.
Your perfect rear end
on the couch.
Okay.
Impression. I was time. I couldn't. I'm not a homebody. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I was so used to going out to the clubs and, living the club scene. Not doing that as much now, that I'm a parent. But I definitely love to go out to the bars and, some social spots. We love to go down to Fort Lauderdale to the Wharf. It's a different feel. Mm-hmm. It's outdoors and it's just different. It feels. The last time I was out there was, March 3rd before COVID really hit. And then we just recently went out and I was like, whoa, I miss it.
I know. So that's why I think I know where people are tiptoeing back on, and their natural inclination now before we do anything is to go to the apps. As we've said on here, ad infinitum, the best dating site is Earth. Dive back in the pool. Go where the people are, because the people that are out right now are the people you should be dating. They're the people you want to be dating. They're the people you're around. They're the people who I can't wait for the human connection again. Exactly. I want to be around people. I miss laughing and sharing and music and food and all of the things that bode really, really well for dating. I think this is the most fertile time to find somebody that we have ever had. We talked about this last year when we were doing podcasts, that we believe that when the clouds parted, the bright sunny skies post-COVID world, we're going to be the best time. That was something we said last year. I think we're right. I think it's playing out that way. During the year that you were home and you didn't get to date much, did you reassess either how you were going about it or what you were looking for?
I definitely thought about it. It was work.
Something other than fireman, maybe?
Something other than fireman. I mean, I do have that as my profile.
Wait,
that
that's
I do
on your profile?
It's on my profile that I do love, men in uniform, and parentheses, I do love firemen. And a lot of guys will open up.
FedEx guy, is he in uniform? Does that count?
Depending on, how he looks.
Uniform.
Yeah, it's
how
uniform.
He looks. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
good. Noted.
Noted.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, attraction does trigger something. It's physical.
So how did you change your profile, or how did you change, like, I'm going to do this now? Because we all had a lot of time to sit home and think about it. What do we want? How are we going to go about it when this happens? And what change, if any, did you make?
I definitely have more social. I have to be out there. I'm not sitting home. If you are communicating with me and there's a vibe and we have a physical connection through text, through phone conversation, if we FaceTime, I don't want the pen pal back and forth. Let's meet. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see the vibe. I don't want to sit at home anymore. I want to be out. I want to be in the environment. I want to feel what it's like to be out again.
Yeah.
I'm done being home. So being out on that first date for the first time in the longest time, where he did pick me up, he did have a rose on the seat. The vibe was great. We went to P.F. Chang's. We had great conversation. We were connecting. Drove home, the same music and everything. Sitting in the car, having a great conversation. I was ready to leave, to get out. He pulled me back in. Yeah, we had a nice kiss. Before you know it, he asked me out on the second date, on the first date.
And that's the way it used to work, and that's the way it should work.
But then a few days later was the mixed signal. It was like, we had a great time. You were a great companion, or not. We had a great conversation, but I don't think you're the one for me. And then a few days later, room, question mark. And I said, room, question mark. He wanted to go to a hotel room. So I said, is that what you wanted on the first date? He said, no, if he wanted it on the first date, he would have tried.
Points for that?
No, he probably saw a picture, maybe a new picture on my profile, and then he thought about it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, I
points
gave him
for the picture. But let me just say this then. So for the women who are like, I don't want to get in the car with him because he's going to want to do that, the true psycho will wait a couple dates before saying room. So they can always play the gentleman or whatever, but let's get back to that. So the flower on the seat, the sharing of the music in the car, like, let's put this on, and this song, remember this song, or all that.
It was all my music that I listened to growing up, like all the old school.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the car, the kiss.
Yeah, it was mixed signals. It was great.
Awesome. So sorry it didn't work out, but the experience did.
The experience did.
Good. I like that.
Can I ask? First of all, I didn't know what room question mark meant. Does this man not have his own house that he could?
He does, but he has a roommate.
How old is he?
I think he was around my age, 46.
Is it a male roommate?
That's a good question. I didn't even ask.
Yeah. A roommate is wife?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
a lot of wiggle
he
room
told me about his ex-wife, and the ex-wife is remarried, so I don't think it was her.
All right.
I mean, he did drive a nice red Corvette, so it felt like I was in a fight truck.
Corvette wasn't a red flag.
Oh, my God. I know, the red Corvette.
She did say Brooklyn, though.
And so you wanted one more date before room, question mark?
I would have probably one more date. I mean...
Okay, so we're so close.
We're close.
A hair off here.
I know for me, I don't know if guys... there's no guy in the world that would write this on their dating profile, but there's so many that they have a list of rules. And the first one is always, no hookups.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear that too.
And then it goes down. There's the bullet points.
Well, I always say that if He doesn't care. Like if he's looking for a hookup and you put no hookups, he doesn't give a shit that you put no hookups.
Right.
Because he's always thinks
It's all friends
she'll
with
hook up
benefits.